Temple this year. They have expanded that show to 4 days, 25th through the 28th. In May, Foo Fighters and Deftones are the headliners on that very last night. Kiss and Rob Zombie doing the Saturday. Avenged Sevenfold and Queens of the Stone Age on Friday. Tool and Godsmack are the opening night headliners there. And I think those tickets are on sale. I will have them for you next week. I think Stansbury's got them this week. But we're giving away plenty of Sonic Temple tickets. So just be listening and find out how you can get them. That would be the easiest way to do it. I want to double check here. Okay, fine. Hold on. Who is doing... whatever. Just listen, all right? We'll have them for... I can't find that.
Just never turn off MMS.
Well, that's what I would prefer. I mean, ideally, that's what we're looking to do, but I can't find the email that tells me who's got what. Anyway, we got plenty of Sonic Temple tickets for you. Cavaliers coming off a win last night here at home. I guess yesterday afternoon, really, was the game against the New Orleans Pelicans. They'll be in Memphis tomorrow night to play the Grizzlies. That's an 8 o'clock tip. And then back here on Friday to play the Golden State Warriors, everybody's favorite team in Northeast Ohio. Bucks will be in town. There's not much basketball left to be played. I mean, it only goes until April 9th. And boy, that'll be here before you know it. Pardon me. If you listen to the show on iHeartRadio, make sure that you tell me where you do that if it's not here in the greater Cleveland metropolitan area. Dennis is a bureau chief in Elk River, Minnesota. Matt's in Cincinnati. Nolan's in Pittsburgh. Natalie listens in Vero Beach, Florida. Keith and Trish are 2 bureau chiefs in Englewood, Colorado, a town now that has had to close its second city library over meth contamination. Englewood, Colorado, for the second time in a month. Library has had to close its doors to clean up all the meth. This is a suburb of Denver. And they got test results the other morning showing that the contamination in the library's restrooms exceeded the state thresholds. Now, that begs the question, what is the state threshold for meth in public library bathrooms? It's like when they go, well, when you buy hot dogs, there's a certain amount of rat dingleberries and bug parts that can be in there, according to the FDA. And so you got to wonder what the Colorado state threshold is for methamphetamine levels on the premises. They also checked a number of countertops at the libraries, which also tested positive, albeit for lower levels of meth, and will require specialized cleaning. So they got to have a company come in. You know, like when COVID first broke, we did a couple of shows at Bill's apartment because they were COVID cleaning studios at Oak Tree or whatever. And then we were like, well, there's nobody there. We might as well just go back in. And we remained basically the only people there for another year and a half.
Now, why are people wanting to do meth in libraries? Those two things
tell
seem
you
like
why.
they don't
Hey,
go
man,
together.
meth ain't that bad.
Because meth ain't that bad, Mary.
But it seems like those two things don't go together. Libraries, you are a quiet, to yourself, kind of a maybe a place to reflect.
That's why you're going into the bathroom to do meth. Nobody's paying attention to you.
But you can't. I mean, I've never done meth, but it doesn't seem like a quiet drug to do. You do meth, and usually you want to yell or run around or steal stuff.
Quiet drug to do.
I was going to say, you
It's
never
not like
have
you
done
smoke
meth.
weed.
I mean,
Meth doesn't. I thought meth made y'all hopped up and crazy.
Hey, man, meth
Yeah,
ain't that
well.
bad.
right, but not the
Adderall's
second you
meth.
take it. It's not like Jason Statham in the movie Crank.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, you probably do it in the bathroom, and then you go out, you check out the DVDs of Crank that you wanted,
Okay.
you go get your reference materials, and then you're on your way.
It wasn't until I was in college that I realized that there were casual drug users. Like there are people that like work 9 to 5s, have normal everyday lives, and just happen to do
functional
coke.
drug addicts.
Like I just do coke. Like no big deal. I was never exposed to that, luckily, as a kid.
I mean, you
So-
are playing with fire by doing that, but there are people who Early on, they refer to themselves as casual users, but it gets less and less casual as time goes on.
So is it the same thing with meth though? Like Coke, I feel like
Casual meth user?
I don't think so. There are some people who want you to believe that you could get addicted on any drug after one time, and that's not true. Meth seems to have a higher incidence of people getting pretty hooked. So I don't know. Meth, I don't know, is a drug that you kind of just dip your toe into.
Like I just did some meth this morning, and I'm gonna go to work, and then
I've known people who've done meth a couple of times, and they're like, that was enough. They're not losing teeth, they're not losing jobs and families and stuff. They're like, this is not for me.
Yeah,
You can do anything a couple of times, and
the stereotype for me was if you do drugs, you're immediately like a crackhead, you're a cokehead, or you're a meth head. You're on the street, strung out.
I bought so hard. I bought in so hard to like all the anti-drug stuff that they taught us in DARE, and church. They taught us a lot of that stuff. To even thinking of drinking alcohol when I was a kid or teenager, like I was like, no way, I'm not going down that path. And then I saw how fun it can be when you just do it.
Fun.
It's great.
Yeah, but Mormons are trying to tell you not to drink tea.
Yeah,
like caffeine is a drug that it is the most abused drug, but still, everybody's going to tell you, hey, kids, don't do meth. That's pretty. That's
not everybody. There's that one guy.
That's like, but he's not telling kids to do it.
Well,
hey, man, meth ain't that bad.
Right. For him, meth ain't that bad.
Yeah, kids, don't do meth. Do Adderall.
Hey, man, Adderall's great. I
You
love
think
it.
it is?
I know it's meth. It's an
Trucker
amphetamine.
speed. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, but
It's for ADHD.
I know what it is. I know what it's supposed to do.
And that's why if you smoke meth, maybe you can concentrate better and you can
Go to the library.
read more books at the library
maybe.
in record time.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm on Adderall, I don't really want to read. I want to do things, organize, clean.
You don't want to sit still and read a book. You want to be you want to be in motion when you're on Adderall?
Just productivity. So that could be typing or writing or organizing, cleaning, any of that kind of thing. Sitting still and reading.
Reading not being productive.
That would not. No, that would not be what that is.
And so if you need to, you say, well, maybe this is more of a thing when you were living by yourself, but you're like, I got to clean the house today. I got to do laundry. You take an Adderall and then you're all.
I don't have to take my Adderall in order to do chores.
Okay.
I'm saying that when I take it, you want to be productive. You want to be doing something.
So what would, if you're not doing it for a specific reason, what would precipitate you going, it's an Adderall day?
Well, I'm supposed to take it every day, but I don't like taking it.
Oh, you're prescribed Adderall.
Yes. I don't like taking it every day because I just don't like taking it every day.
Gotcha.
It's good to not take it every day.
Well, I feel like that's how you start to, have to build up tolerance and get to the high levels, and then that's where you can kind of get a dependency on it.
Is that a drug that's prescribed to people to take daily?
Yes,
Yeah.
and you have to go to a psychiatrist to see it. It's a controlled substance.
Right.
Like, you can't get it unless you see a psychiatrist.
Right.
Generally, you're like...
When I was on it, I would have to take
plenty of people are getting it.
drug
you're
tests,
prescribed for it is what you're saying.
Yes, people get it and sell it.
Well, I don't know.
Sure,
No, I don't mean sell it. People get it and use it.
I was prescribed it, and I would have to pass drug tests to take it. Like, you couldn't take I couldn't smoke weed when I was on it.
Not supposed to mix it with, anything.
Yeah.
But...
I guess the issues with the libraries, people are telling me, is that because most libraries try to be very accommodating, so as the weather gets very, very cold, you have people of all stripes who are kind of looking, you're trying to find shelter, and that's going to include. But the American Library Association said that they haven't heard of anything else like this outside of Colorado. So it depends on who you believe, I guess. This guy?
Hey, man, meth ain't that bad.
Or the cop who would come through your school with that big DARE attaché case.
I wonder if I go to school with, or if I went to school with anybody that's advocating for the legalization of meth. So I got the one lady that's advocating for MDMA to be legal.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's a meth person out there. Maybe I went to high school with that guy.
So there's no drug in which you can get hooked the first time?
I mean, I'm not...
Just love, baby. Just love.
That's person to person, too, though.
Like heroin?
Yeah, everybody's different.
I'm just going to shoot up one time. I'm just like, didn't like it that much.
Yes. You can shoot up heroin and you won't get hooked.
It didn't give me what I was looking for. It didn't have that zest.
I'm always chasing that zest is what he's looking for. What drug can I do that'll give me that zest?
The little...
Time and time again, I've been snorting Irish Spring shavings.
I can't remember if it was crack or meth, but a friend of mine talked about doing one of those two drugs a couple of times And then their dealer went to rehab in Florida, and they just stopped. They were like, I didn't try to find a new dealer or anything like that. So,
it wasn't
yeah.
so they
convenient
were
for
like,
me anymore.
yeah, exactly. Where they're like, kind of casually, I can't remember if it was crack
I think
or
it was
meth,
meth.
but
I think I knew.
He messed up his money.
it was one of those two. And then I was like, oh, so you just stopped after that? Like, yeah, it was too much work to try to find
to
anybody
be a
else.
drug dealer.
I guess, sure.
You got to know people who know people who know
Yeah.
people, you know.
Oh my God. Bro, you messed up your money. I was going to be a loyal client, but you had to go on and get right with
better.
God.
Well, yeah, okay. People are telling me doing Adderall is pretty much what meth feels like. All right. Well, then wouldn't it be
I
a hell of
wonder
a
if
lot?
the crashes is hard.
Wouldn't that be
I
a
don't
hell of a
know.
lot cheaper than meth?
No.
Really?
Well, it depends. It depends on the dosage and where you get it and how you get it. Like mine is 15 milligrams extended release, which means it's not going to give you the high that you want from a regular like Adderall pill. It releases throughout the day because it's meant for you to take to fix your ADHD.
Yeah.
But they also have instant release ones. Those are the ones people crack up and like crunch up
Snort.
and snort. Yeah.
Oh, I
but
see.
the extended release ones, like mine is 15 milligrams extended release, and it's like $40 a month. So $40 for 30
That
pills.
sounds pretty cheap.
It's pretty cheap, but it's not going to give you. I don't think it's probably going to be as intense as meth.
Why
you
don't
can probably
you
take it out of those little capsules and
I've done that. If you want it right away, take out a capsule, put it in some yogurt.
Why don't you? I'm going to put my meth in my yogurt, and then I'm going to put my Adderall in my cottage cheese. I'm going to see
Yeah.
which one hits harder.
We'll see what happens.
Hey, man, meth ain't that bad.
Maybe you should do a side by side.
putting your Adderall in your yogurt. I think that's called a yoga speedball.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Adderall in my yogurt.
Oh,
hey,
no.
you got your meth in my sour cream.
I was going to say, I'd just be mad my appetite would go away after you do drugs.
No, it's not that bad. And honestly, the more you take it, the less that has an
happens,
effect on you. Like the first week, because I just got prescribed this again. I was on it in college, and then I got prescribed it again in like December maybe. And that goes away after like the first week, after you start taking it. I mean, yes, you do have a decreased appetite, but like the first 3 or 4 times you take it, you're like, oh, I cannot eat on this. But then your body gets used to the drug, and then it's fine.
Say my antidepressants, looking back on it, like I didn't want to do anything. Like I just don't understand it didn't. I guess it just wasn't the right dosage because I was depressed before I was on that, and I kind of had like a manic episode. But being on that, it almost was like I'm too even, like too. I was just too okay with everything. Didn't want to do anything.
Well, that's the whole point. It's highs aren't as high, lows aren't as low.
So
You're just kind of chill.
I didn't want to eat. I didn't really want to, like, I wanted to have sex, but I didn't want to finish. Like, it was just, like, the worst thing. Like, I just don't even
want to be a blob and watch TV.
And now?
And now I'm cool. But I'm not on anything right now. I'm not on anything right now. So, I'll see in a couple months. Like, if I get stressed or, manic. That was my whole ear.
It's that clean living in Jesus, homie.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
He's over there at Orange Theory. He found the Lord. He's on the rowing machine.
Oh, yeah. And I'm just going to say, I don't know for sure, but that's what made me fat.
Antidepressants?
I'm gonna use that. Yeah, it made me
Instead
fat.
of the Doritos and the Uber Eats.
It was
that's what
after
did
that.
it. Yeah.
I wasn't active. I didn't want to do anything, so it made me fat too.
Yes. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Being inactive and
Dude, from that time in my life, I threw those sheets away because I had it almost like someone died where I was laying.
why don't you just launder them?
It was bad. It was like an outline
Because
where
he
I
didn't
would
launder
lay.
them for 2 years, so he couldn't launder
Why was
out the
that? Why
problem.
did you not wash them for that long?
Because I was depressed.
I'm too sad.
Too sad to wash my sheets.
Well, when I mean, probably TMI here, but when I went back to the psychiatrist, because I hadn't been on this drug in a long time, and I was like, kind of what Cody's describing, where I was just like tired all the time. I didn't want to do anything. I had no motivation. And I told him straight up, I was like, I don't know if this is depression or ADHD, but one of these two things. And he's like, the symptoms can be very similar and they often play into each other.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, so before we put you on an SSRI, let's try Adderall. And if Adderall fixes your problems with motivation and getting things done, then we don't have to mess with, because the way he described it to me, it doesn't mess with your brain chemistry as much as a antidepressant would.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, you can use this in conjunction with your anti-anxiety. Let's see how this goes.
But for Poundcake's purposes, or any dude's purposes, he's not getting a boner.
On antidepressants,
Yeah.
yes.
But you were getting plenty of boners, though. You were
Dude, my lady boner is
strong like bull.
like a statue.
Yeah. Like
You
that
know.
statue of Martin Luther King Jr. in
yeah.
Boston. Any direction that you look at it,
It's a boner.
there's a boner. There's no way around that.
Hey guys, I don't know if you ever hear the commercials that they insert into the app, but I don't know how many more times I can take.
At Optima Dermatology, Shelley Plusha has 18 years of experience and will work with you on a solution for your rubella and dermatitis. Call Shelley Plusha at Optima Dermatology.
Yeah.
And also, it's all summed to the right channel for some reason, like slam through a limiter. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, no, I don't ever hear the stream. I don't know what those commercials. It sounds like there's one or two that they air all day long. I don't know where all these ad sales are happening with podcasts, but it sounds like they're playing the same ones over and over and over again. So no, I don't ever hear the stream. I don't know. I only know I'm doing this. I'm not listening to the show on the stream. So
Seems like it's effective if you remembered every single
rubella.
word.
Yeah, he's
That's
heard
a
it
deep
lot.
dive. Yeah, he's heard it. He got
the
himself into a
voice,
Jerry
he did
Lewis
all of it.
situation there. Yeah, he's like the nutty professor all of a sudden. No, I don't. People tell me all the time, they're complaining about some ad they heard. I go, I don't.
It's got nothing to do with me.
Only
Well,
when it's
I mean,
funny and
I-
it cuts off our.
I want people to have a good experience. We're telling them to listen to that goddamn app all the time. I want them to have a good experience, and that's not going to give you a good experience when they're jamming, when commercials play in the middle of my show, or, you know, people got so used to, and this really sucks, but over COVID, when everybody was on Zoom, that really trained people in a negative way for my business, which is people got really used to crappy audio. And I hate that. There's nothing that bothers me more than crappy audio. And it's all over the place now. Because on Zoom, people got used to it. And then they go, that's how things sound. And not how they're supposed to sound. So again, I don't know what you heard. I love your rendition of it. But I don't know what you heard. Hey, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
Nothing much. You guys were talking a little bit ago about getting addicted to drugs, and Poundcake said something about if he tried heroin for the first time that he would get addicted.
Yeah.
And actually, I just celebrated 6 years clean yesterday. I was a heroin addict.
Congrats, man.
And thank you. Trust me, I didn't want to even think about trying heroin, but it was painkillers, and painkillers led to heroin. But no, you cannot, because I was doing perk 30s, perk 40s, or whatever it was, but I hated it because it would make me, drool on myself and just.
Brian, how did you get hurt?
Just like a zombie. I tore my ACL.
Yeah.
Playing
For the Cavs.
men's rec softball.
Men's rec. Man, what a way to start your trip down heroin lane. Yeah, I was just having some fun with my boys and playing some softball.
That happens more than a lot of the time. People who are addicted to
Well, that's
heroin,
why there was such
that's
a
how
big
it starts.
boom of it in the early 2000s
yeah,
because
and-
that's when they would say, "Oh, you're hurt, OxyContin."
Yeah.
Yep, mine was Percocets, and it was like after my surgery, they're like, here's 90, 70, 50, and then they cut me off. I'm like, I'm already addicted to these painkillers, and then when they start getting too expensive off the street, someone's like, here, try this.
You also
cheaper.
you also live your life praying that you never ever get hurt again.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, well now I got to contend with this, and
Or you got a
But
busted back and you have to
did
take
go-
Advil.
And it killed Brian's burgeoning men's rec softball career. That's the worst part. Let's not gloss over that.
I played for 10 plus years. That was my last year playing softball.
Oh
That's
my
all right.
goodness.
After getting clean, I got my own house. I have a daughter now.
Good job.
Softball is on the last part of my mind right now.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah,
Well, good job, man.
but yeah, thank you. It was a long and hard road, but
yeah, it was.
stay positive. And let me tell you, I had a tooth removed, and they're like, here's some Vicodin. I'm like, no,
Right.
I'm
Can't do
I'm
that.
allergic.
Right.
I'm allergic.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
mean,
I'm
in a way.
gonna tough this out. I'm gonna be like, I'm fine. Shit. As soon as that Novocaine wore off, nope. I was like, oh my god, what can I take off?
Right.
Luckily, they just gave me some Motrin.
You get yourself a hot compress and
Tylenol 800.
there you go.
That's
Thank you,
actually
Brian.
a question I had for Mary, and maybe we can talk about it when it comes back, because with you being addicted to gambling, addicted to alcohol, how does that play into Adderall? Because that's a controlled substance, and this doesn't trigger those cravings or whatever.
It's something you have to be careful with if you have an addictive personality. I told you tell your psychiatrist that, where I'm like, hey, I have past issues with addiction.
Right.
That is something that makes me nervous about taking drugs like this. And he was like, basically like, well, let's try it and see what happens. I wish there was a better answer. I really wish there was a better answer.
That's most of medicine. Well,
that's
let's
what
try
it is.
it.
We're like,
yeah.
Well, because they're like, let's
5
see
months
if
from now, Mary's going to be just
Strung
tweaked
out.
out.
Yeah.
Smoking meth in the library and be like, I guess we should have tried it.
Eating all the Twinkies.
It's also why I don't take it every day,
Yeah.
because it is something that you can build up a tolerance to pretty quickly, and you can start to crave, and you can start to be like, I need more, I need more, I need more. Because it doesn't have the same effect the longer that you take it, you know? And if you're looking for, depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to get high, you're going to want to constantly up it. I can take it 2 or 3 times a week, stay productive, and not have to up my dosage. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is a slippery slope. I won't even lie that it's, and I expressed my concerns to my doctor, and he was like, well,
And then I
we'll
guess
see what happens.
You know what?
essentially.
You're going to be my experiment. Let's see what happens. It's publish or perish around here, and I'm working on a new paper. So.
And because you didn't have that same relationship, like if you had...
I never had that relationship with drugs.
Well, with alcohol, though, you were binging it right from the start.
Well, and I used...
So you used alcohol excessively from the start, so like that led to the abuse of it versus like having a healthy relationship with alcohol where you're like, oh, I'll just have a drink here or there to like unwind versus...
Yeah, I guess that's that's how I use my Adderall. But it's one of those things where it's like I used gambling and drinking to escape my feelings.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm going to use productivity to escape my feelings. I don't think that's...
I think you can.
Taming my ADHD is going to also escape my feelings. It's not usually how that works. It's not really, I don't know, mood altering, I guess.
Mood altering productivity.
Yeah.
I got to take a break here. I will have another $1,000 for you closer to 4:30. Listen for that next keyword to go fund yourself. You're a Pussifer fan, by the way. Maynard Keenan and the gang are coming through to do a show. When? They're coming through to do a show at some point. Oh, they're going to do MGM Northfield Park, end of May. So if you dig Pussifer, I'll have those tickets for you after the break as well. 35192 if you want to text, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have.